I need to know why the announcers don't point out stuff when there's mistakes. It's like they just go on about it, or they try to play a narrative or something like this. On this wheel route right here, you catch Kenny McIntosh one-on-one with my boy Steel Chambers here, and you can see the leverage with which Stetson Bennett is reading. He makes a good throw. It's just that McIntosh veered off on what he was originally doing. Check this out. You get this play action boot. It's going to be a boot here, but you get a breach off this side right here. Looks like by Sawyer. Of course, Stetson Bennett, he's going to quickly chain through his progressions and see that the wheel route is in vogue. Now, look at the leverage. Steel Chambers right here. Look at Steel Chambers. Great hip flip there. But look, originally, you got Steel with inside leverage. Look, inside leverage, but he's on the outside of McIntosh. He's thinking McIntosh is going to continue up this way. McIntosh, for some odd reason, bends it behind Steel, which leaves Steel there with that type of leverage. He flips his hips there, and that's all she wrote. Check it right here. Too easy for him right there. But that was not on Stetson Bennett. You can see right here, that's where he's throwing it and reading this leverage right here. He doesn't know that McIntosh is about to put his foot in the ground right here and then break it to the outside. I'm not sure why McIntosh decided to read it that way, but he was going to just hit him on a dart right here, like a straight line drive right there, and just have him move the chains at the very least. Maybe he can make Steel miss. But he decides to veer that off there. He threw it to where McIntosh was. I don't do social media during the game or period, right? But I can almost guarantee that people were out there probably saying, man, Cletus, why would they ever have this walk on at quarterback? And all they had to do was point out something like this, man. This shit is goofy. All right, Top Billin, your boy, the Underground King Murph, back again with the great folks over at DraftKings. They told me to tell you it's still on like Donkey Kong, baby. This season has been tremendous, and it's only going to get better, especially if you're running with your boys up at DraftKings who are giving away $150 in free bets. Someone's giving you $150 in free bets and you not salivating, I don't know what's going on with you, man. If your pregame moneyline wager of $5 hits, you get $150 in free bets. It's that simple, baby. DraftKings made it that simple and they made it that fun. You have to make sure you go on over and download that DraftKings Sportsbook. Enter the promo code TOPBILLIN and get to winning, baby. Only winners around here because I want winners. Remember, if you don't have online wagering in your state, it does not matter. We already told you about DraftKings Daily Fantasy, and they have DraftKings Rainmakers. Listen, I've been working with those in-game parlays. That's where you enter multiple bets within the same game for even more winning. I like doing it with football, but I really love doing it with combat sports. That's fun as heck, you know what I'm saying? When a match is going a different way than you thought it might and they throw those bets out there, you have to jump on it, man. All right? Straight up. $5 will get you $150. Download the online sports book of DraftKings in your Google Play or Apple store and get to winning. It's that simple, all right? Tell them your boy, the Underground King, sent you. Salute. Ryan Day, which is going to be a dope-ass matchup. Ryan Day, Kevin Wilson versus Kirby Smart and Will Muschamp. That's hard. But right there, you can see they will exploit every single weakness that you have in your coverage by running NFL concepts. Now, if you talk about a team like a Tennessee, no, that's that high school type stuff, right? Where they do go vert a lot, but they pretty much run 2 or 3 different concepts, but they run them very fast and they run them very well with great personnel. So it's hard to combat that. Ohio State, a little bit different. They're going to run a variety of concepts and make you prove yourself all over that field, and they want to see if you can tackle. Just like Georgia. Georgia has very similar concepts to these guys as well, so you got to keep that in mind. All right, y'all, still beaming from ear to ear. That game was off the chain. Everything that I thought it could be, it was. Been waiting for that matchup for years, and it was the absolute truth. Listen, but from a defensive standpoint, from somebody who loves defense, it was trash dookie. Can't even front, though. But, man, if you like offense and you like points, these guys got after it. And what did I say? Ryan Day and Kevin Wilson versus Coach Smart and Will Muschamp will be must-see TV, and it was. You talk about four guys at the highest point of the game. You talk about two offensive masterminds in Wilson and Day versus you already know what those boys do on the other side. And you have to say, man, Day and Wilson really gave it to those guys. No doubt about that. But listen, that goes to show you how great Georgia is, because Georgia can win any type of game. And especially when it has that guy behind center or under center. Stetson Bennett is the absolute truth, and I've been telling cats for years now. People don't want to listen. Anytime there's a little bit of something going on right there, everybody wants to throw him away with the bathwater like he hadn't already been through this shit before. The guy just knows how to win football games. He's unflappable. But listen, beyond that, though, I'm telling you right now, Georgia is that damn good. Winning shootouts, winning defensive battle type games, right? Winning games where they had to just dominate the line of scrimmage and run the ball because they didn't have his best passing. Listen, what can you say? That's the mark of a champion right there. Can't wait to see them versus TCU. That should be a good matchup. But let's concentrate on this one right here. Might have to come back a few times on this one coming up out of the vacation, baby. So listen, I think that Smart Muschamp they kind of put their hands behind, or they had their hands tied behind the back. I feel like they don't have trust in some of the defensive backs on the team. You can see them playing with a lot of this leverage stuff, going against a team in Ohio State's going to make you defend 53 or however wide it is. They're going to put you in conflicts of deployment because they're running NFL concepts right there, especially if we're talking about the passing game. Listen, you're going to see them roll this to the post right here. They're working with that deep third coverage with that, of course, outside leverage. But, man, you're running outside leverage, and these guys they're not Tennessee. I said that before the game. They play a different brand of football. It's not all about just getting vert. It's all about making you defend and making you flip your hips and do different things like that. Transitional routes. Can you defend that? And you have to say it? No. Neither one of the cornerbacks could do it. Even the inside corners struggle. Everyone struggled on defense, in my opinion. But you see right here, Emeka Egbuka in motion. He's going to be running an out route. You're going to see Julian Fleming here. He's going to be running a corner route. Same thing with Marvin Harrison, that cat who I said was going to do his 1-2 thing. Hated to see him go out the game, though, man. But them's the breaks, baby. It's a physical game of football out there. He'll be back and better than ever next season. But check this out right here. You talking about working with that outside leverage. We'll see it coming on right here on front-facing play action fake. You get that half-moon rollout. When you get that half-moon rollout, you know all of this is going to be in vogue because they want to get the attention over there. But you can see right here the outside leverage by Lassiter. You got Marvin Harrison right here taking that corner route with an inside approach, snaps it off, get that early pandemic separation right here. The first month of the pandemic, when anybody coughed or sneezed or anything like that, people stayed about 25 feet away, right? Early pandemic separation, too easy, yaka. Come on, man. You can't be doing that right there. Man up, too deep, man under. I said that before. I thought that that's what they would be. Force these guys to see who can actually play. You start working with a lot of this zone, even though this is zone with man principles, it's still zone. There's still voids in it. There's still a lot of spacing there, especially if you're going through your fabricated pressure schemes. I forgot to point that out, by the way. See the fabricated pressure scheme right here. Sending forward, you got Javon Bullard. He ends up working to the flats. You get Smile Monday, he ends up being sent. So you're sending that 5 there. There's going to be some voids there. You end up getting them matched up on the inside right here. Chris Smith going against Julian Fleming here. Just different things like that, man. I expected to see something a little bit better from Georgia on that front. Conversely, I thought Georgia kind of shot itself in the foot. Going into the game, we knew Ohio State could be susceptible to the run game. And when Georgia went to it, they were pretty successful, but only 26 attempts, I believe. I'm very confused by that. I thought it would be flipped. You had 34 attempts passing, which is pretty much the norm. What did I say? Georgia's a passing team this year. That's what it is. However, on this particular game, this was the time to take shape with the line of scrimmage or take back the line of scrimmage and really see what's going on there. And they had some explosive runs, no doubt about that. You know Ohio State was going to give up some, and they had some where I showed you that these guys struggle with tackling, especially out in space. But even in concepts like this, to go into their split zone right there. You see Sawyer here. He gets a hand on Dejon Edwards. It doesn't matter. He shrugs that off there, and you know the rest. And these guys at the second level, if you can get a hand on them, they're not going to be able to detach from the blocks quick enough. But if you leave them free, my man Steel Chambers, like I said before, is the absolute truth. He was everywhere. If you keep him clean, you don't try to get hands on him and this guy Tommy Eichenberg, these guys can do some very good work as well. But they just needed to get some of these level up zone type plays where you're comboing up to the second level and then just have at it. Todd Monken, I feel like sometimes he's auditioning to be a head coach somewhere. He's always wanting to go vertical down the field when the edges is where Georgia makes his hay. I'm talking about a lot of the screen game not being called, some of these swing passes out to the perimeter, having people try to tackle a Brock Bowers and these guys, or the running backs out of the backfield. A lot of that just wasn't there. It's like he wants to make the splash play instead of making the play of substance that gets them splash plays. Maybe that doesn't resonate well with the people looking to hire or something like that. I don't know. I feel like sometimes he makes it a little bit harder on himself, but you can't argue with the results, right? Almost, 550 yards of offense or something like that. I know a lot of people going to talk about the loss of Marvin Harrison, but on the other side, you have to talk about Darnell Granddaddy Washington also being lost. That man and his blocking prowess is the absolute truth. There's no doubt about that. Front-facing play-action fake here. Man, look at him handling up on Zach Harrison here. One-on-one with Zach Harrison. He's doing his 1-2 thing. And nice to see A.D. Mitchell back. Great pocket there for Stetson Bennett. You know what he does with that? Yaka. Right in stride. Man, doing his 1-2 thing there. But Darnell Washington, man, for sure. I don't know what the injury is. I forgot to even go back and look and see what's going on there. But love his blocking prowess. Hopefully he's available. You know who else is blocking his ass off? This cat right here. I'm trying to tell everybody about one of the best running backs in the country. He being Kenny McIntosh, going against my guy Steel Chambers here. And look at this. A meeting of the mind still gets into him, but it doesn't matter. You see your man sink the mud hooks in on Steel, and they battling right there. Still had nothing to offer him. That's a great rep right there if you talk about pass protection and getting yourself a potential franchise back in the later rounds because nobody's talking about him. All right, I was wanting to see what happened to this when I was watching the game. There's no doubt about this. On this zone read, had Stetson Bennett handed it off. It was a touchdown. But listen, Stetson Bennett understands how to run this particular concept. He runs it damn near to perfection most times. What happened here is you get JT Tuamoloau. That mama jumper crashes hard, right? But you get a replays right behind him with a smart football player and Steel Chambers here, and it makes it very difficult on Stetson Bennett to try to get the edge on this. See it right here? What I tell you, if them boys got a crash and everything like that and there's zero coverage behind them, touchdown. They just don't have it like that. They can't get off blocks and angle off correctly. That is a touchdown. There's no doubt about that. But Bennett did the correct job because the guy crashed down. If someone crashes down, you have to take it out to the edge. It's a read. But guess what? They're smart and play behind this. Still, at the very least, is smart and plays behind this. And you're not going to outrun those Steel Chambers. I'm sorry. Stetson Bennett don't got it like that. Oh, no. That man got splatter whacked too. Splataya. Man, much too old to be getting splatter whacked on the sideline like that. Elder abuse again. Elder abuse, Steel Chambers, elder abuse on my man Stetson Bennett right there. But as you can see right there, he did not make an improper read. That's what the option calls for. If he stays put, you give it to McIntosh. If he crashes down, you keep it. It just so happens that, guess what? You got guys on the other team on scholarship that are going to the NFL that are smart as well. Check out this particular sequence between Javon Bullard and Chris Smith right here on this penalty. You can see them arguing before the play here. It looks like Javon Bullard wants to switch places with Chris Smith. As you see right here, you have Joe Royer, the tight end, and you have Emeka Ibuka, the receiver here. So you have Smith across from here, but what you get is a triangle and one. So you're going to have Smile Munden sink back here. These guys are going to be playing this zone right here. All right. You see the triangle start to take shape right here. Let's just mark it right here. All right. So you're going to get that there, but these guys are just running a scissors concept right here. You're going to have Royer come this way. They're going to switch it, and he's going to get north-south. Same thing right here with Ibuka. He's going to get north-south as well. Now, this ends up being fine as far as the coverage goes. Javon Bullard panics, right? But then he tries to deflect. When you see it right here, see him switch it off right there. He panicked. He was flat-footed, and then he pass interfered, right? Now look at what he does afterwards, right? Chris Smith thought it was a good play and everything, but Javon Bullard, angry as hell, he immediately turns around to try to find somebody. Look at him. It's like, man, what you doing, man? Right? Instead of him just saying, like, I messed up. I was in great position. I panicked when Emeka Ibuka freaked me when I was flat-footed. He gets mad. Right? Javon Bullard gets mad, right? He turns there. The first thing he sees smoking in the same color jersey, he looks at Smile Monday first. He thought that was Chris Smith. He's like, man, what you doing? Oh, not you, man. Sorry about that, man. He's like, you, right there. Chris, what you doing, man? That's the art of deflection right there. Come on, man. That was terrible on Javon Bullard's part, regardless of the mix-up before the play. But you have to think about this. Georgia playing NFL football, straight up. These guys have a lot to think about post-snap, right, and pre-snap. And you can see it come out in frustration here. Now, listen, nobody on the back end had a good game. Matter of fact, everyone played their worst game. And these guys still won. That's what I said. One hand washes the other, both wash the face. The offense picked it up. You wouldn't suspect that to happen with the defense, but, man, you can name all these players, Bullard, Smith, Starks, Ringo, Lassiter. They all played poorly, and they still won going to the national championship. That's how you build a complete program. I remember when people were saying that Georgia couldn't get vert with Stetson Bennett at quarterback. They ain't saying that shit now, right? You got the right personnel. This man's going to get you the ball. You got Arian Smith right here on a post. He does a great job of actually throwing him to the post and making sure that the pass is completed. Got a dig backside here. But this is the kicker. You got Ohio State working in its cover 2 scheme here. So you got those split safeties back there. Of course, you're going to have your cornerbacks working that flat zone, but you're going to have Tommy Eichenberg here. He has to get depth. Your man gets some serious depth, man. He shows that he can run a little bit. He was running with Arian Smith, but it was Bennett's throw that made this happen. You see it right here on the pull. He does a good job of actually kind of looking. There's not really nothing to really look off here because these guys are going to have their assignments. You can see the attention that Brock Bowers is commanding here, but you can see it starting to take shape. Eichenberg got some serious depth. Of course, Arian Smith's going to eat up that cushion, and look where he throws the ball. Where he's able to see it from this side right here. Once again, you can see it start to take shape. Look, the serious depth right here by Eichenberg, but it is the ability of Bennett to think the game through, and he threw him open. Right, great coverage by Eichenberg, just a great play by Bennett, and a great catch by Smith, who has some serious wheels. I don't know why this just wasn't ran ad nauseum. I said it. If they can get to the second level through combo blocks, they can have success in the run game like nobody's business. You got this right here, split zone here. You got JTT with the cross formation block from Brock Bowers. And then you have your man Dejon Edwards here, 88 and out the gate. You got to pay attention to Arian Smith's block right here on Steel Chambers. Still doesn't do a good job on this right here, man. He gets hung up by Arian Smith right here like an old head not getting off the block. See right here, start to take shape. Look at that block right there by Smith, who's not known for being a blocker at all. But look at him get into the chest of Steel right here, continuing to drive that leg, forces him out the play. And then Dejon Edwards, good with it right there. They could have just ran this over and over. Same deal here. You get, of course, this rocket motion by Bowers. You get Oscar Delp here. He's sealing off Eichenberg here, who's trying to creep backside. You get this inside zone play, and you'll see a combination block up here to Steel Chambers. I want to say maybe by Broad Jones or something. One of these linemen right here is going to get Steel, and he's going to be pretty much pancaked right there. Flapjack like you wouldn't believe. Look at this. Oh, it looks like it's Van Pran. Said Van Pran here, coming off, comboing up to the second level. Still not his game. What I say, not Steele's game. Not getting off blocks well, but if sideline to sideline, if he's kept free, he's just better than everybody. But see right there, he ain't getting off a block by Van Pran Granger. He's got to center up Van Pran and be able to look right both ways. Be able to center yourself up, look both ways here so you can attack, but you can't get yourself walled off onto one side because that ain't going to be good. You can see right here, he gets splatter whacked into a coma, and McIntosh 88 and out the gate. You know the rest. I can't show it. I hate that shit happened to my man Kenny McIntosh too. That's horrible. Still an explosive play. And I was trying to tell this dumbass in one of these comment sections, one of these Seahawk fans was talking about McIntosh not being as explosive as like a Jahmyr Gibbs and shit. And I'm like, you have to be out of your mind. Every bit as explosive as a Jahmyr Gibbs, except bigger, more physical. He will run you over. He can make you miss. This guy is a complete back. Don't get me wrong. Jahmyr Gibbs is the truth, but man, Kenny McIntosh easily right there with him. You know what? I'm going to call it right there. I expected Georgia to have success on offense. No doubt about that. Ohio State just ain't got it like that on defense. So I want to come back and concentrate on what Ohio State did to Georgia's defense. We knew that was going to be the make or break scenario for the entire game, and it almost broke it in favor of Ohio State. So there are some things to get into there. I like some of the concepts that they were doing, like the pass to the running back through traffic release, getting them isolated on Jamon Dumas-Johnson, and different stuff like that. They were doing that damn thing through the air, man. There's no doubt about that. But guess what? Georgia still survived and advanced. Georgia, I'm just calling it right now. There should be no reason for Georgia to not win back-to-back national championships. But listen, you always got to respect the game. Like I told you guys before, my last thing, right? As a lifelong Big Ten fan, guess what? We play football in the Big Ten. Football is just not played in the South, right? So you got these guys out here was saying Ohio State was going to get beat by 50 points, Ohio State soft and all this and that. Ohio State might be soft, but guess what? There's more than one way to skin a cat. So Ohio State showed that. So you have to respect the opponent. TCU has some talent on his team as well. Not as talented as Ohio State, clearly, but definitely a team that understands what type of team it is and has some really great coaching. So I can't wait for that game as well. But this game was off the chain. There's no doubt about that. A lot of stuff to get into and a lot of stuff to look forward to. So keep it locked right here. It's your boy, Mid-Atlantic Murph, telling you, as always, to respect the game, respect all these different conferences. You just never know. These guys don't play each other to know if just one team is just better than the other just because they're in different conferences or just because this one conference might be propped up more than another conference. Styles make fights, baby. All right? Salute.
What more can I say?
Top Billin.